Have you ever met someone who made you doubt yourself, not with insults or anger, but with questions that felt off? At first, their tone is gentle, their smile calm. But the moment you answer, you realize something's wrong. You've just stepped into a game you can't win. This isn't a conversation. It's manipulation disguised as curiosity. Because liars don't just lie with words, they lie with questions. And if you can't see through the disguise, you'll end up fighting yourself instead of them. The ancient Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, warned us about this centuries ago. A liar rarely attacks you directly. They plant doubt like seeds and wait for you to destroy yourself from the inside. 2,000 years later, nothing has changed. The tactics are the same, only more subtle. Today we're going to expose how manipulation hides inside innocent words and how a Stoic mind can stay calm, unshaken, and free. Because the greatest armor against deceit is clarity. And if you master it, no one will ever control you again. Liars are clever. They study emotion. They know when to sound hurt, when to sound loving, when to sound confused. But beneath all the performance, their goal is always the same: to make you question your reality. They don't want the truth. They want control. When someone says, "Why are you being so sensitive?" it sounds harmless, almost like care. But it's not. It's the first bullet fired by the manipulator. Because hidden in that question is the message: you're the problem. You're imagining things. You're weak. And just like that, they make you doubt the very instincts that protect you. Sensitivity is not weakness. Sensitivity is awareness. It's the mind's radar, picking up the things others ignore. A wife feels a change in her husband's tone. She's called paranoid. A worker notices something strange in the numbers. He's told he's overthinking, but later both are proven right. What others mocked as too sensitive was actually insight. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Manipulators know this. They infect your imagination until you can't tell what's real. The Stoic sees through that. A Stoic doesn't argue. He observes. He asks himself quietly, "Why does this person need me to feel wrong for noticing something?" And when someone throws that line at you, "You were being too sensitive," don't react. Don't defend. Just look them in the eye and say calmly, "I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant." Then watch what happens. The silence that follows will tell you everything. Another favorite question of liars is, "You trust me, right?" Sounds innocent. Sounds sweet. But think. Why would a trustworthy person ever need to ask that? Because anyone who demands trust instead of earning it has already shown you who they are. Epictetus once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." That's exactly what this question is meant to do, to stop you from thinking. They want you to feel guilty for being cautious, ashamed for asking questions. But the Stoic knows caution is not mistrust. Caution is wisdom. So when someone asks, "You trust me, right?" you pause, you breathe, and you answer, "Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment?" That one line flips the game. You've just taken back control. Because truth never fears examination, only lies do. Then comes the defensive trap. Are you accusing me of something? It's not curiosity. It's a shield. It's meant to flip the script and make you the villain. Suddenly you're explaining yourself, apologizing, softening your truth, and that's when they win. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But silence in Stoicism isn't surrender, it's control. The next time someone says, "Are you accusing me of something?" don't rush to defend, hold your ground. Wait 2 seconds, then say quietly, "Should I be?" Watch the reaction. A liar will flinch, an honest person won't. A more subtle trick is, "Would I ever lie to you?" Sounds heartfelt, right? Like a plea for love. But that question is a performance. It's not truth, it's guilt. Because they know you're close to discovering something. They don't want to answer. They want to make you feel bad for asking. A Stoic doesn't fall for that. Seneca said, "If it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it. A person of integrity doesn't beg you to believe them. They let time and consistency prove it. So when someone says, "Would I ever lie to you?" just pause, breathe, and respond, "That's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did?" One line, and the illusion breaks. Because lies hide in darkness. But questions like that turn on the light. And finally, when all else fails, manipulators play their last card. Can't we just move on? It sounds peaceful, but it's not about peace. It's about escape. What they're really saying is, I don't want to be held accountable. They want closure without honesty. They want forgiveness without truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice, he didn't add, unless it's uncomfortable. Truth doesn't expire. It doesn't fade just because someone's tired of hearing it. So when someone says, "Can't we just move on?" the Stoic answers calmly, "I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before." That is power. That is self-respect. Because you cannot build peace on confusion. You can only build it on clarity. Manipulators don't fight with truth. They fight with emotion. They don't need facts. They just need you to lose balance. They'll shame you for asking questions. They'll call your awareness overthinking. And when that fails, they'll exhaust you until you give up. That's why Stoicism is the ultimate shield. Epictetus taught, some things are in our control, others are not. And the moment you understand that, manipulation loses its grip. Their guilt isn't yours. Their chaos isn't yours. Their emotions, not your burden. The Stoic knows that peace begins where control ends. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a storm. Rain, thunder, chaos. But inside, you are still. Calm. Watching. Unmoved. That is the Stoic state. The world screams, but your mind whispers, I decide what I react to. And in that moment, you are untouchable. Liars expect anger. They expect guilt. They expect fear. But they never expect calm. Because calm reveals truth faster than any argument ever could. The Stoic doesn't need revenge. He doesn't need to shout. He just watches and lets the liar destroy themselves. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all understood the same thing. The man who sees clearly cannot be controlled. Because truth makes you unpredictable. The liar's power ends where your clarity begins. So remember this. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not cold for seeking truth. You are not weak for noticing deception. You are awake. And in a world built on illusion, the awake are feared. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Choose awareness. Walk through the noise like a Stoic. Calm, observant, unshakable. And when someone tries to twist your reality, smile gently, stay silent, and let truth speak louder than words. This is Mind Hack Stoic, reminding you that power isn't about control, it's about calm. Because once you master your mind, no one can ever manipulate it again.